What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Too Good for Theaters video here. Today, we're going to be talking about the Jabrill Peppers extension with the New England Patriots, so let's get right into it. So the New England Patriots and Jabrill Peppers were able to come to a contract extension agreement, a 3-year, $30 million deal, with around 24 of that $30 million being in guaranteed money, with the rest of that contract kind of being incentive-based that Jabrill Pepper would need to hit to get that total up to $30 million here. But another great move by the front office here. From a base salary standpoint, you're paying a very good safety in this league around $8 million, could reach up to $10 million, but that's a very affordable deal for the Patriots here. And especially with the production that Jabrill Peppers has given you these past couple of seasons, that's kind of a steal contract. He has been one of the better safeties in this league. I'll get into it a little later in the video, but just bringing back a guy like Jabrill Peppers, someone who's been one of the emotional leaders in the locker room for you these past seasons, and really has been a culture setter, kind of be that guy who's always rallies around the ball and kind of a leader on this defense, kind of plays football the right way. Really is just an encouraging sign to see these guys get locked up, especially with these young, developing defense. Kind of have these core guys like Kyle Duggar, Christian Barmore, Jelani Tavai, and now add Jabrill Peppers to the mix. Kind of keeping that continuity and chemistry on that side of the ball really just shows that this front office is kind of on its heads up in terms of the defensive staff. And especially with a new head coach like Jerod Mayo, as well as the first-time defensive coordinator, DeMarcus Covington, really is probably going to put their minds at ease, kind of that just have that defensive communication and familiarity with the players, knowing each other and kind of being in this scheme for a multitude of years. They really shouldn't have to struggle that often in terms of teaching concepts to these players, but can kind of build upon what they already know in the system. And I'm really excited to kind of see some of the new defensive looks that this team has, especially from a safety standpoint. You have guys like Kyle Duggar, Jabrill Peppers, Jalen Hawkins, and Marte Mapu, kind of guys who can really play all over the defense. I'll get into it a little later in this video, but you really don't know what each of these safeties are going to be doing here. You either dropping back in coverage, playing in the box, manning up. They can do a multitude of things, and it's pretty interesting. I hope that they do a lot of disguise looks that can potentially screw up some of the offenses that they are facing against this year. But like I said before, really good move here by the front office, and I'm excited to see how the defense kind of builds upon this continuity, as well as see if they can kind of result in that top 10 defense that they have been these past couple seasons in the league. So really excited, and I feel like Jabrill Peppers is going to be a highlight of this defense this upcoming season. So taking a look into Jabrill Peppers' 2023 campaign here, was very productive for your New England Patriots. Came away with 54 tackles, a single sack, 28 defensive stops. He was targeted 34 times in the passing game and allowed only 20 receptions for around a receiving percentage of 59%. Came away with 5 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and managed to force a fumble. I believe that fumble was actually week 1, where he forced Jalen Hurts into a fumble in a crucial spot for the defense there. But really just kind of shows that Jabrill Peppers has been that playmaker for you from a defensive standpoint, and his nose for the ball really has just continued to kind of develop through his first 2 years in New England here. But taking a look at his defensive grades, he was actually ranked 5th amongst all safeties according to PFF last season, and it really just shows how productive he was. He came up with an elite defensive grade of 87.3, an even better run defense grade of 90.7, but throughout his career, he really has just showed a real nice job of kind of being able to step up in that position and help the front seven in terms of run support. So excited to see that he's still kind of building upon that, but it's going to be very difficult for him to kind of match that production that he had last season, especially with that run defense grade there. He had a tackling grade of around 59.5. It did drop from his 2022 campaign, but I was a little surprised to actually see that. I think Jabrill Peppers has been one of the better safeties in terms of being just a steady tackler and not allowing a lot of missed tackles there. But he had a coverage grade of 83.2, which was very good from the free safety position that he played, as well as a pass rush grade of 54. And this really kind of just shows how multi-dimensional Jabrill Peppers is as a safety here. You can drop him back in coverage. You can put him in the box to help the front seven and kind of make plays behind the line of scrimmage. Or you could even rush him with the quarterback, even coming down with the sack last season. But kind of just shows the athlete that he is and the hybrid between the safety and the linebacker that he can play. And just taking a look at kind of like where he was lining up last season really just shows how multi-dimensional he is. He took 50 snaps along the D line, took 267 box snaps as a safety. He was even in the slot as a slot corner for 134 snaps. Like I said before, playing free safety is his natural position, so he did take the majority of his snaps there, with that being coming down to a total of 424 snaps, as well as playing a little wide corner, 80 snaps. Really just shows how versatile he is. He can kind of follow someone in man coverage to the outside or even stay in the slot. But he can also line up amongst the box. He can play deep or even amongst the defensive line. So just a credit to him and how he's kind of transformed himself into this hybrid safety that can really play all over the field. And I'm excited to see kind of if this defense could put him in a multitude of coverages and disguise looks that could force him into even more scenarios where he can make a play on the ball. All right, everyone. That's going to wrap up this video about Jabrill Peppers here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And expect a couple more Patriots videos coming out here. Training camp has begun. I'll probably post a couple videos alongside my NBA coverage of the Sixers and their offseason here. And I'm kind of just excited to see where this channel goes from here. Hopefully we continue to develop. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and it is much appreciated.